Welcome back, everybody. My name is All Fun and Games. I stream every day on Twitch TV, and I also make fun little videos here on YouTube. Today, we're going to be talking about how to place down some doors if you're deciding to make yourself a smidge of a little tiny base using walls and whatever else you might use. Now, if you watched my previous video, I tell you why you should never put walls in your base, and if you have not had a chance to watch that, please do, because when hounds show up, you're going to have a problem on your hands. Okay, so as you can see, there's multiple different situations here, and let's talk about how we get there. So first things first, let's make ourselves some more doors, because we're probably going to need a little bit more of them. And of course, it depends on, every player has their own variation of how they want to do this, and of course you can use different colors and blah blah blah. Now there's so many different fences out there and whatever else that, depending on what you use, could look even more fancier than the next thing that you see. And of course the same goes for putting down different walls and blah blah blah. Now, at the end of the day, when you go to put down a few gates, you're going to want to make sure that they are, of course, aligned with whatever pillar you have. Now, you want to have the gate open towards you or downwards. First, you're going to want to make sure either you have geometric placement. If you don't have that, you're just going to have to go with the whatever orientation that you have on the screen and kind of adapt to that specific way that you're placing them. So of course, if you go to place it down and you decide that you want to put it in a little bit in front, well, unfortunately, it's not going to look the best, and your wall will look a little bit off. Now, creatures can't fit in between those, but you can still put them there, and you can still go about putting a wall in front of it, which will look kind of cool, and actually might make your design a little bit more unique than somebody else's, as they might ask you, well, how did you do that? Well, you put them a little bit in front. Another option is, of course, just being, the plain old, and placing it right next to it, which will give you the same type of design. Now, if you decide to go up to the doors and press spacebar or click on them, whichever one you want, they'll both open at the same time. There is no way to have only one of them open at a time. So if you decide to do that, well, guess what? They're going to open towards you. And now, if you want to open the other way or an opposite way, all you have to do is rotate your camera the other way. So now you go ahead and put them on the same situation. And unfortunately, you're going to have doors that look like this. So if you want them to obviously open up the opposite way, you're going to have to get a little bit tricky, which is basically just making sure that you align them once again. And now when you go to the doors, they're going to open up forwards. So the way that DST does it is pretty much the way that your character is facing is the way that different things are going to be positioned. And for me, I actually like the doors that open up this way, as it kind of just looks a little bit different, unique. And of course, the doors, or the front of the doors, are a little bit backwards, which is not a bad thing at all, but it might look a little bit different than everybody else's, as I mentioned before. This design also looks really cool because the more that you add walls to it, after all, will make it seem more unique, and players might wonder how you even had a chance to do it. Although it seems very small and nothing too crazy, it still just looks still looks better than having them right sitting next to the actual pillars, which are still kind of cool nonetheless, but I still think this one looks a little bit more inviting specifically for a home. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and place your stuff down, depends on what you want to do, but in the end, it all comes down to how you want to place it down. Just be sure not to waste your wood and gates. Now keep in mind, if you do destroy them, you do get back the same resources, so that's okay too. Nothing to really worry about that way. But that's how you do it. Go out there and enjoy making your base. I would highly recommend not using walls and everything in your base, but if you decide to make a cool little pen for like pigs or anything else, or whatever else you want to use it for, like some veggies or whatever, I mean, it's going to look cool nonetheless. And I eventually would like to see walls have some sort of adaptation where they can have like automatic walls that go up and down. There used to be a mod that I used to use before, so it'd be cool to see if there's like hydraulic walls that could make it so if hounds are attacking you, that they won't attack your walls, maybe the walls will attack back. I don't know, maybe I'm talking a little bit crazy, but it would be cool to see something like that, because I like using walls and I think it can make your base look even better. But of course, right now, when hounds show up, they will ruin the show. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.